r/ask Reddit. What is the dumbest thing you've ever done for absolutely no reason? I chopped an aerosol paint can in half with an axe. I was far old enough to know better, but my cousin and I thought we had it worked out. My mom always said, 1 kid, 1 brain, 2 kids, no brains. Boy was she right. I was yellow for a week. Edit. After seeing the comments, thought I'd answer a couple collective questions/observations. Our thought process was that if you used a freshly sharpened axe and swung it hard and fast enough that the force/pressure would equal out and it wouldn't explode. Obviously we were wrong. Also looking back, I'm sure my mom could've done more to remove more of the paint instead of just my eyes and majority of my face, but she wanted there to be a lesson learned. As we were waiting in a line to see the Santa Claus as a kid, I decided a potted cactus outside the theater was fake. It did not look fake, and stuck my hands all over it to see what it felt like. I also convinced my brother, who was standing with me, to try it as well. We ended up with dozens of tiny painful cactus spikes stuck in each of our hands, and we had to leave to remove them with sandpaper back at the house. I just remember my mom turning around in the line and dumbfoundedly asking, "Why the hell did you do that?" To this day, I do not know. My dad was sleeping on the couch and I happened to be holding an avocado. Without giving it a second thought, I chucked the avocado at his head for no reason. It plonked right off his forehead, woke him up of course, and he was so furious he couldn't look at me for the rest of the day. I was like 11 years old, and my dad has a temper. The moment it left my hand I knew my life was ending, so I just helplessly watched it sail into his sleeping face. Edit. Chunk to chucked plus extra detail. My brother got new ninja shoes, the ones where it has only 2 places for your toes, like mittens for your feet, except hardened for ninjas, and he was telling me how he has so much strength now, in our hallway. So he turns to the wall next to him, and kicks it super hard. Yes, he did have so much more strength now, enough to kick a big hole in the wall. And yay, my dad was super pissed. He made him fix it, and then paint the whole hallway too. Edit. He was around 15 years old. At least in high school. It was a while ago. One time while pissing at my stepfather's parents' house, I decided to pull the lighter out of my pocket and light the bottom of the decorative broom they had on the wall in the bathroom. That thing instantly ignited. I reacted by swatting the flames out, and thankfully it went out. But I often think about how I could have burnt down their house that day. I honestly wish I could say this was the dumbest thing I have ever done for no reason. It is not. I later got expelled from school for a similar incident where the flame did not go out. When I was 3, I did 2 dumb things at my grandma's house. One night at 3 AM, I somehow managed to find my way to an iron that my mom hid behind a TV. I plugged it in, waiting a 20-30 seconds, and stuck my hand on it. No fucking reason, just burned the hell out of my hand. Parents woke up from me crying and took me to an urgent care or something like that. 2 days later, while everyone was sitting downstairs, I went up and grabbed my favorite truck, rolled it downstairs. Now me being the dumbass I am, as you know now too, I somersault down the stairs. Came down in a lot of pain and crying. Everyone was around me in 2 seconds. Didn't have one scratch on me, not a bruise, cut, or mark. When I was around 8 I dressed up like a werewolf, old Halloween costume from a couple years previous, and hid in the woods to scare some of my friends and the neighborhood kids, and did too much of a good job and the police were called by their parents. I didn't know apparently there was a guy luring kids into the woods at the time, or so the police told me. After they came, this was in NH around 97, and when the cops came it was like 3 cop cars. I ran through the woods back to my house instead of just coming out because I was scared of the cops, and cried for a few minutes, and my dad walked me to the cops to explain what I did while I was still wearing my werewolf jeans and shirt with my mask in my hand. They scared the shit out of me and took my name and everything. My young dumbass self thought I was going to be on cops. It was pretty fucking dumb. I decided to hit a glass off of my bookshelf when I was drunk in college. Ended up slicing my middle finger really bad, but was too drunk to think so. Went to the bathroom to wash it off, and then came back to my dorm room, and wrapped in a towel. My girlfriend and I were just sitting around watching TV when there was a knock on the door. Security had followed a trail of blood from the bathroom to my room, which was only like 20 feet away, and wanted to see what was up. I told them I cut myself, and tried to convince him it wasn't bad. He took one look at it and was like, "Yeah, I gotta take you to the emergency room." I really didn't want to go, but I'm so glad he made me, because it was a pretty bad cut. Ended up getting a bunch of stitches and the doctor said I was lucky I didn't slice a tendon. Now I have a sort of Nike swoosh scar from that. I got my first phone, old Nokia, the invincible kind with Snake and Composer, when I was a young teen. One day I was out with my friends when I got a text from an unknown number saying, "What do you want for dinner, Sam X?" Me and my friends thought it would be hilarious to text something crude back, and decided on "you can eat my pussy tonight." Didn't get a reply, forgot about it and went home. Few hours later my mum comes storming into my room demanding to see my phone. Shocked, I handed over the phone. Safe to say my mum was absolutely mortified. Turns out that Sam was short for Samantha, who is my aunt, and the phone my mum gave me included her old SIM card and number. I was grounded for a long time, haha. We were at one of our favorite swimming holes in high school. I took a plank from a broken bridge railing and jammed it in the concrete bridge abutment in such a way that it made like a diving board. It was a long jump from the end of that board to the water under the bridge. You see where I'm going here, but there's a twist. I figured with all my infinite 17-year-old wisdom that I should hold onto the rope swing as I ran off the end of the board. That way should anything go awry, I would simply be dangling from the rope and not mangled. Well, I didn't think about the obvious fact that the rope would sag as soon as I started moving in a straight line along the plank. Too late, I was off. Halfway along the length of the board at a full run, the slack in the rope is tripping me up horribly, and the board snaps under my weight. For some reason God didn't have anything at all important to do that day, because he gave the biggest idiot in the world the strength to barely leap into the water, avoiding certain broken legs, if not paralyzation or death. I hate myself for doing this every time I think about it, because I could have destroyed my life for utterly no reason. Was in college and had an accounting class at 11 AM. Was working at night loading tricks for a brown package delivery company. I was not doing well in said accounting class, so I resigned myself to a C. Had a test just before Christmas when night volume was high. Got done with the shift at 5 AM and the boss took us out for breakfast. 6 AM rolls around and they can legally sell alcohol again, California. So, drinking ensued. Done eating and carousing at 8, went to the college, 1 hour nap, go take the test. It was dumb, but raised my grade to a B. It was the last class of the days. I was daydreaming out the window and saw the soda guy pull up to one of the school's side entrances. He opened his truck, loaded up a dolly with cases of soda, and went inside the building, leaving the soda truck wide open. I said, "Fuck it," and jumped out the window in the middle of class, ran across the courtyard, and stole a case of soda out of the truck. I ran into the same door he used, the bell rang, and I gave away all the sodas to my classmates before anyone caught me, got on the bus and went home. No one ever said a thing, so I figured I got away with it until just last week. My 15 years old daughter now has the same teacher, and I told her my story. She told him the story. He not only knew about it, he said I was the only one that got away. I was something of a legend in my day, and it is weird as hell being a parent now, and my daughter, thankfully, is nothing like her mother. Sorry, Mr. Manelli. I accidentally punched my girlfriend in the face because I saw a piece of lint with hair stuck to it and thought it was a spider. I told her this and she starts freaking the fuck out and tells me to kill it. But before I got to do it, she starting frantically looking for it, and right as I went to punch the spider she moved her head and I whacked her right in the forehead. If that were an actual spider, it'd have gotten iced for sure though. TLDR, I thought I saw a spider and went to punch it, hit my girlfriend's forehead, and then realized the spider was a piece of lint with hair stuck in it. Decided on a whim to go for a hike. It's a nice day. It was supposed to be a summer stroll. Really? Get deep in the forest. Phone dies. I get lost. Didn't bring water and the trees are scorched from the heat. Like the leaves and branches had burned off. So no shade. And my boots break after a couple hours. I decided the sun would be my north star and ended up trekking in the burning heat barefoot for the entire day. Just high thorny bushes to climb non-stop and finally reached a road at nightfall, covered in cuts and bruises and ash. Clothes ripped, looking like a psychopath trying to hail down a car for help. That was rough and really dumb. I know people get lost and die within the hour because they freak themselves out into premature dehydration. But thankfully I quickly held on to the phrase "it's walk or die." No other care in the world right now repeating in my head as to not lose my mind. Other than that, doing random drugs for no reason was also dumb. Parents had a new dishwasher installed when I was about 10 over 11. I gathered the box, a flashlight and mine, and my sister's comforters and pillows. We got it onto the roof. Dad left a ladder. It was gutter cleaning time. Put half the padding in. Put myself flashlight in. Sister put the rest of the squish on top. Folded the box closed on me, and then she pushed rolled me off. No broken body parts thankfully, and when the folks saw the box and blankets on the ground later, they commended us on making a fort and playing outside for a change. In my house we have a counter next to the living area in my house, not a living room, because it's in the middle of the second floor. The counter entrance had two small gates that looked like laundry boards. I saw mom preparing something at the counter. My parents stayed up late to watch movies and stuff, so this was normal. Me being the idiot I was, decided to prank mom. So I hide behind the laundry board gates and move the gate so it makes a sound. I look through the holes and mom is terrified. I move it again and see that mom's eyes are like dinner plates. She grabs a massive full plastic water bottle and holds it in a baseball batting position. She steps closer, looks over, and I look up at her. Mom smacks me hard on the head with that heavy full bottle, which kinda hurt, but I found it hilarious. Mom wasn't too happy with me scaring her within inches of her life in the semi-dark in the middle of the night. My neighbor's dad was a home body shop mechanic. My friend told me that the one in the garage wouldn't run, and that his dad said we could do what we wanted with it. Being 7/8, we smashed the living fuck out of it with crowbars. Every bit of glass, every panel. We were very thorough. Then his dad got home. I was very quietly told to walk home. I never asked Dan what happened to him.